I'm Scott Jenkins, Managing Member of Alexander Accounting, Payroll, and Tax. Having worked as both an auditor and tax professional for prominent CPA firms, and eventually working for my own clients, I've witnessed many effective and ineffective strategies small businesses use to manage their accounting records. With this in mind, I hope to share several good ideas which will make you more efficient, better organized, and in more control of your business. Thanks for watching, and visit www.aaptservices.com to view other helpful videos, as well as to learn about services we offer which may be of interest to you as an individual or business owner.
Today, I will demonstrate a creative method of keeping separate balances within a single checkbook using QuickBooks. If your version does not look exactly like mine, it's okay. The functionality should be the same in all versions, and this process should even work in other software packages such as Sage 50 or the former Peachtree. If you'll migrate to your chart of accounts, I'm hovering over it now. If you don't see it here, you can also go to Company, Chart of Accounts. Now let's take a look at the checking accounts I have set up in this company file. You'll notice at the top I have a master checking account. It's identified as a bank account. I refer to this as the sweep account. The reason I refer to it as a sweep account is because the balances from all sub-accounts will basically sweep into this top level account, allowing you to have to reconcile only one bank account, although you'll be able to keep separate reserve balances separately identifiable in other bank accounts. From there, you'll create other sub-accounts which may serve various reserve needs, saving needs, or segregation by activity needs. In this example, which is my company handling accounting and rental property clients, I have set up several reserves to handle everything from client deposits and retainage, maintenance reserve for the building which is being rented, a tax reserve. Basically, this is where, as I earn income, I set aside a certain percentage to send to the IRS quarterly, insurance reserves, property tax reserves, and construction fund reserves. As you'll notice, each of these accounts has its own separate balance. However, in total, the balances roll up into the single sweep account. If I were to go into my insurances reserve account, I will only see transactions associated with the insurance reserve. However, if I double click on the sweep account, I'll now be looking at all transactions despite the account that it came from. So each time I receive money dedicated to one of these needs, I basically restrict the funds to the need by recording it in the sub-account. Also, any checks paying items in these categories are recorded from each separate QuickBooks account. So for instance, if I were to record a deposit today, and those funds were construction funds, possibly from a loan at the bank, and their sole purpose is to construct a building, well, I don't want to put those in my unreserved funds that I can spend on anything. I want to make sure that I've dedicated them to construction funds. So I want to be sure that I pick the construction funds checking account to make my deposit to. Conversely, if I receive funds that have no dedicated purpose, I would put them in my unreserved account. Oftentimes I'll receive funds such as a rent check that I want a portion to be set aside for other uses. So basically, at the end of each month, I add up all the receipts and transfer funds appropriately. By going into banking, you'll see the transfer funds option. Here I can choose to move funds from unreserved to maintenance reserve. So let's say I know that I receive $2,000 per month in rent checks. I can do 2,000 times 0.1, which is 10%, for a transfer of $200. Hit save and new, move on to my next transfer. My next transfer would be to set up a tax reserve. If I've received a total of $5,000 in income for the month, 5,000 times whatever reserve percentage, which in my case is going to be 10, $500, save and close. In the next example from one of my clients, they like to segregate transactions by payroll versus accounts payable. So they actually only have one checking account, but what they've done is they've ordered checks with different numbering schemes to identify whether it's a payroll check or an accounts payable check. So as checks are issued for payroll transactions, they're recorded to this account, and when they pay their bills for accounts payable, it's recorded to this account. All deposits are recorded into their sweep account, and at the end of the month they only have one account to reconcile, which is this sweep account. If they ever want to know how much money they have in total, it's only the sweep account that they're concerned with. So moving on to bank reconciliation, if I open up the reconciliation program, you'll see that if I wanted to, I could reconcile each account, but what would I really be reconciling it to? I only receive a single bank statement. So instead, I only set up reconciliations to this master or top level sweep account. So at the end of each month, when I get my bank statement, I'm able to reconcile here in this single account all transactions that I've set aside as reserves in other accounts. If you'll notice, you'll see some transactions indicate funds transfer and some have no description. If you'll look at the amounts, for instance this one at the top, $519.37, you'll see the opposite, $519.37 here. This was my bank transfer. It basically meant I moved it from unreserved and moved it to my tax reserve. These transactions are a wash. You will not actually see that on your bank statement. Your bank statement only shows real transactions, and these were fake transactions, whereby I was basically moving funds from one set aside account to another. So when I'm reconciling each month, I'll be clearing my transfers against one another. So long as I have both a withdrawal and a deposit, they clear. The end result is zero. It has no net effect. The remaining transactions are my actual true transactions, which will be reconciled against my bank statement. I hope this video has been helpful, and please remember, visit www.aaptservices.com to find other helpful tools or to learn about services we can provide to you, which may make life just a little bit easier. Until next time.